to talk about Bernie Sanders today because he recently went on the Andrew Schultz podcast, and he had some interesting things to say. Some things that I'm a little surprised that he said out loud and admitted, because for so long the Democrat Party would never admit this kind of stuff. So the fact that he, said some of these things, I think is noteworthy. But let's dive into it a little bit. In this first clip that I'm going to be showing you guys, Bernie Sanders basically talks about how the Democrat Party sold out to the big donors. Yeah, I'm shocked. I genuinely am shocked that he admitted this on camera. So with that being said, let's dive in.
70s, 60s, Democrats caught on that you could raise a lot of money from wealthy people. Mm-hmm. And it gets back to campaign financing and all that stuff. So you got a Democratic establishment now, which is funded by wealthy people. You have consultants who are really way out of touch with reality, who make a whole lot of money in campaigns, and working class is ignored. Donald Trump comes along and says, I care about you, which was a lie.
I don't know if that's a lie. I'd give pushback on that. I think that it has to be proven that it's a lie.
All right, I'll prove it.
Yes, thank you. And you're right, I could look through rose-colored glasses, but the idea, I think that when people are struggling, anybody who goes, hey, I'm going to help you out.
Yeah, so the fact that he admitted that is quite interesting. And it makes me think of the clip of Chris Cuomo. Hold on, Chris. Not yet. It makes me think of this clip of Chris Cuomo when he was at the DNC, and he was talking about just that.
A big theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging, and they're going to go after corporations, whether it's in taxes, largesse, loopholes. The RNC, we heard the same thing. They're going after the elites, the two sets of rules. Let me reveal a reality to you that has to be spoken to here, okay? These are the soldiers. These are the men and the women that go back to their constituencies and their communities, and they fight. They take time from their jobs. They take time from their families. Republicans and Democrats alike, that's what they do. They need to charge these people up. They need to be able to get them on board. But there's another reality that is literally looking down on them. Greg, look at the ring of sweets, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at $500,000. You think there's like a teacher group up in there? You think it's like the Cub Scouts of Columbia County, South Carolina, that's up in those boxes? Some of them are lobbies and good things. The media boxes, you think they're free? Why do you think I'm on the floor? News Nation is not a broke company. Nexstar is a massive organization. We are corporate media. We don't have one of those boxes because that's the game. You pay to play. Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful and being told, yeah, we're going to break down on them. We're going to make them pay their share. They paid $500,000, $700,000, $1 million, $1.5 million to have those seats. They get hotel suites that are probably gifted to the party. And the same thing is true at the Republican side. And they're going to take them down. They're going to change how it is. They are looking down from on high at the people who make the difference in their communities. And that is the reality of politics. And I had my producer walk around and show you those suites. Now, they're not all the same. They're not all the same. But the reality is, in 2000, they spent $300 million on presidential campaigns. 24 years later, you know what they're expected to spend? $10 billion. Do you know how much money Harris has raised in the last couple of weeks? Hundreds of millions. And that's success. A lot of it's small donor, a lot of it isn't. The most dangerous money in politics is now legal money because of Citizens United. You've got to know this. The idea that they can fight against it is almost laughable.
Yeah, absolutely laughable. But the great part about it, hold on, Chris, goodness gracious, you already spoke, brother. Okay. The great part about this is the Republican Party doesn't put on this act as if, oh yeah, we're going to get rid of all the billionaires and the millionaires. Like, no, like you earned it, right? You worked your butt off to get to where you're at financially. You deserve that. We don't want to take that away from you just to give to somebody who's undeserving. But the Democrat Party tries to put on a lie. Oh, we're gonna tax the rich, but you take your money from those same people to run your campaign. And so now you're telling me you're going to tax them? Nah, not happening. It was the same situation with Uncle Trump and Hillary Clinton. You guys remember that debate when the whole tax situation came up? And he said, well, why don't you change the tax code? I know you won't, because the same people that use the tax loopholes that I use, or some of the same tax loopholes that I use, your donors also use. So I know you won't change it. I know you won't. You've had the ability to do it. So like this whole front, man, is honestly laughable. He also went on to talk about Kamala and what happened with her. Check it out.
He ran on this idea of we're going to make it better for you, instead of Kamala seemed to run on this idea like, hey, it's good, we're going to keep doing the exact same thing, which is a losing strategy.
You got it.
So
that was her bloody consult. I mean, I know Kamala. She's a friend. She's very smart. That was what her bloody consultants told her to say. I begged them. I'm just between you.
Why can't she push back? Like at a certain, like
you're right. Look, there's no argument.
And this is the problem I think a lot of voters had, is like they didn't even know if it was her. We didn't even know if Biden was president. We didn't even know if these were her talking points.
How can you say she's smart, but she listened to consultants tell her, hey, just run on, everything is fine, and we're just going to keep the status quo? Really? But she's smart? If she was smart, she would separate herself from the failures of her and Biden's administration. She would try to separate herself from that, which angered a lot of folks. But she listened to some consultants tell her, no, just keep repeating the line. Just keep saying the same thing. How does that even make sense? But then also, why would we want someone as president that can't think for themselves? She has to be told what to say, and you want to be the president of the free world? Come on now. Really? Nah, that's not happening. Bernie also went on to admit that the party is rigged, and it's really the Democrats that are a threat to democracy.
And we felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I mean, I wanted you to, like, 2016, I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported them.
Look, but you have, in the world that I live in, you got a choice. And I mean, a lot of people, including my wife, agree with you. But, you know, you're down to a choice. Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or is it going to be Donald Trump? Not a great choice.
But it ended up being him anyway. So why don't we burn it down?
Well, because it's easy to say burning it down means that children are not going to have, you know, food to eat, that the schools will deteriorate, people will not have health care.
I got it.
And I'm an elected official. I got to represent the people.
That's fair.
And I can't turn my back on.
But then could we not also say, if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat to democracy? Yes. We often hear.
Fair enough. That is, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that point. And that's why I'm proudly an independent.
Aren't Democrats actually a threat to democracy? If you haven't had a fair primary, yep. I told you guys this was quite the interest. These were some quite interesting clips to watch him admit this stuff out loud. Stuff that Democrats have been lying about for a long time. Oh no, we're not the party of the rich. We're the party of the common man. No, you aren't. You're the party of the rich. And Bernie Sanders admitted it. Oh, yeah, Kamala's very intelligent. She's completely qualified to be president. No, she isn't. She listens to idiot consultants tell her to keep the status quo, when the status quo is what got them in that position. Oh, no, the Republicans are a threat to democracy. No, they aren't. It's actually the Democrat Party. You guys rig your own your own party votes, your own primaries. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't think of it. Goodness gracious. Really? Here's one last one. Check it out.
Are you going to run for president?
Please answer yes. I'm 83 years of age, so that is, I think I've run my last race. But,
now, does that mean...
0 fair races.
Does that mean that this oligarchy tour is you passing the baton?
No, don't look at it like that. The oligarchy tour is...
I think we're all looking at it like that.
No, it's not a passing the baton. I happen to, I think Alexandria is great, but it's not my job to determine who the new leaders are. People have each of them, as I mentioned, in the House, there are a lot of great people. In the Senate, there's some good people. And there are people who are not in office right now. But the oligarchy tour was an effort to say to the country that there are people all over America who are going to stand up to this oligarchy. They don't want a government of billionaires. They're going to stand up to authoritarianism.
So Bernie Sanders is not running for president, but he's on some kind of tour. And he's also not passing the torch to AOC, but he's on this tour with AOC. I think party leaders, the establishment behind the scenes, don't want AOC, and so that's why he didn't come out and fully endorse her. That's just my opinion. But what do y'all think? I think the big donors, the establishment folks, right, don't want an AOC leading the party. They want someone else. Maybe a Josh Shapiro or a Gavin Newsom, somebody like those guys. Gretchen Whitmer. I doubt it's Gretchen. What's the name of golly? I can't think of his name. Pete Buttigieg, maybe. I doubt it, but I think the establishment wants someone else, and he knows it, and he doesn't want to get on their bad side, and so that's why he said that. But that's just what I think. You let me know what you all think in the comments, all right? And yeah, man, interesting stuff. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.